Stop saying Ahoy, ahoy. Thanks for joining me again. Just a quickie, this video is about making a flat plane surface or registered flat surface. Put simply, it's probably about the fourth time I've recorded this. There's two parts of the video. The first part, which I made ages ago, and the second part, which was updated after a little bit of thought was actually used. I used my brain and worked out something better. I'm going to cut out a load of the original video. Flat plane surface is frankly what it sounds like. Something very flat, which in this case I've put sandpaper on in order to sand things flat. What are those things? I use it primarily for shaping nuts, to make sure all the surfaces are flat against each other. Edges of necks, backs of necks. Bizarrely, it's a really useful tool. Go out and make yourself one. If you want to know the best way of doing it, fast forward to this time down here. But if you want amusement and bad camera work and really poor sound recording, watch the rest of the video. It's a really simple thing to do. Go and make one in your workshop. You will use it more than you thought you would have done. Toodle pip. Thought I'd do a little tutorial this morning, wipe the screen, on what's known as registered flat surfaces. You might have come across this name or something before, or seen them on Crimson Video. Hiya, Gavin the editor here. I've gone back over this video and found that the sound is absolutely dog. So I'm having to redo a little bit here. I talk about registered flat surface. It's really a flat plate is what it's called. I use them in a previous role for looking at the bend and twist on things such as doors and tiles, things that are supposed to be flat. It's usually a cast iron surface that is calibrated annually to ensure that it's properly flat, so that when you say a tile is 3 millimeters out, you can put your name to it and it's legally correct. We use them in luthiery for a couple of reasons. The first one that I came across was using it to flatten the side of a neck of a guitar to ensure that it was at right angles to the back, and so that all your joints would be nice and flat and straight and true. Also use them for sharpening blades. I use them in particularly for shaping nuts to ensure that the entire length of the nut is all nice and flat. What grades of paper to use? You can change them because it's just peeling them up and putting them back down again. I will have on mine at the moment, I think it's 220 is the roughest I have, and it goes up to 320 and then 1200, and that one really is just for polishing nuts to make sure they're scratch free. I say this a number of times, but I do mean it. Normally you should go up through your grades, always, but this is a great little tool to have on the side of your bench, underneath the bench, for when you need to make something perfectly flat. Excuse me. Anyway, I'll go back to the bad recording now. You can see that I went off to B&Q, picked up in the junk pile an old cut-off piece of worktop. That is flat. Is it registered flat? No. Is it flat enough? Yes. The easy way to judge whether something is flat enough is, has it got a shiny surface and can you see a perfect reflection back from it? If it's slightly rippled, the reflection, it's not flat enough. Now, I'm sure there's lots of people who are going to come up and say, well, it's not flat enough, Gavin. It's not flat enough for you, it's flat enough for me. Let's go back to the bad audio recording. This is an old section of worktop. Now, if you look carefully, you can see that that's almost a perfect image coming off the reflection there, which means it's quite flat. And if you're not sure how flat it is, get yourself your own registered flat surface and see, does it wobble around? No. Sorry, I'm not going to drop anything. If you don't know if you've got a registered surface, one of these is excellent. Is there light coming in underneath it? No. PDF. Pretty darn flat. How much did it cost me? This is good enough for what I wish to use it for, which is shaping nuts, sharpening hand tools, and flattening the sides of necks in order to fit them into bodies. So, there's three things you need. This clean flat surface, double-sided sticky tape, sounding like Blue Peter, isn't it? And I'm going to use 3 different grades of sandpaper right there. Right, I'm going to put down a whole bunch of double-sided tape. See you in a bit. Right, back in the room. I put the double-sided tape down. That was boring. So there it is. But then you ask, what's this, Gavin? Now, it's for rolling on, I believe, stamps of some sort to get a print on. However, just a little roller like that, with a slightly soft but genuinely very hard outer thing, is great for rubbing tape onto a surface. There's all sorts of daubers and things that you can get, but that one works really well. And then what fun do I have? Well, I've got to peel off all the tape next. So, vintage X-Acto time. Woo! Right, all the tape's down, now to remove it. This is fun. And it's done. There we are. 220, 320, 1200. Now, I know what you're going to say, but you've got to go up all the grits. Yes, you do. I would always advise going up all the grits. However, these are the 3 grits that I use the most for flat work. Anything else usually is by hand in between. But if I need a flat surface, go for the rough, do a bit of smoothing, go for the 320. 1200 really is just for sharpening blades off. So it's a perfect flat surface.
obviously not registered. What should we call it? Unregistered flat surface? Yeah, let's call it that. There's your cheap, unregistered flat surface.
So, you forwarded to this bit. What happened? Well, my neighbour Paul came round as I was finishing off that nice sanding plate with the piece of timber from B&Q and the tape on. He said, "What are you doing?" And I explained, and he says, "Hold on a minute." And he went and brought me a spare granite tile, decent size. Might have another one as well. So, what's flatter than a piece of 50p worktop? Well, a piece of granite for free. And then I thought, how can I improve this even better? And the problem that lies with the one that's just been made is the tape. The tape in between has little dips and ridges. So if you're going sideways, it's not going to be perfectly flat. I still use it for shaping things because it's not bad. It's not perfect, but it's not bad. So, how do I make it even flatter? Get rid of the tape and replace it with Pritt stick. Even easier. It peels off, you can wash it down because it's water soluble. It's even better than tape. So, if you haven't got much money, go and get a piece of shiny worktop cut-offs from your local DIY store. If you've got a bit more money, try and find a really flat piece of spare granite tile, Pritt stick it down, put your sandpaper on. Job's a good 'un. Enjoy.
So I've put the Pritt stick down, got the paper, and I've got my roller. Yet again, give it a nice roll. This gets rid of any bumps due to the Pritt stick. Why is Pritt stick better than the tape? Well, the tape has ridges, of course, in between each time you put it on. This has none. So, that's how you make a flat sanding plate